Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. We have a new Alpha 3.24 patch on the PTU, so let us check it out. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members, in particular to my latest patron, Honcho. Thank you so much for the support, it is truly appreciated. So last night, a new Alpha 3.24 patch dropped for the Evocati on the PTU. This time, however, it wasn't up for only a few hours, with it staying up throughout the night, and is still up at the time of writing this. So it is a good sign that things are progressing well, and they are gathering that much needed data. Now, I did have a go this morning to see what the latest features are like. I had some pretty rough moments with a few server recoveries and an actual 30k not recovering, so it wasn't smooth sailing, but this is very normal for an Evocati build, especially considering this is only the second patch. I have played much worse Evocati builds, so hopefully these issues can get resolved. Now, firstly, the vehicle elevator is very epic. The sounds are very cool, the lighting is cool, and it feels like something big is happening, and then the main hangar lights click back on like in a large factory, and you get to hear that big old clank, which is very nice. And by the way, I am only speaking directly about the extra large hangars, as I have not tried any other smaller hangars yet. And to address the concerns about hangar sizes and not being able to increase them unless you buy a ship with real money, that is just a temporary thing, as this is the initial release of this feature. So regarding increasing the hangar size, in the future they have a whole pipeline planned for buying, upgrading, and renting hangars at various locations. So for the initial release of this patch, you will be stuck with the hangar size based on your current largest account-bound ship, while they prove out the feature and systems, but down the line you will be able to increase that size through various methods. Now, for the extra large hangars, the freight elevators have a 896 standard cargo unit capacity, and there are actually 2 freight elevators. I presume each holds 896 SEU, but I'm not sure if you can request 896 for each elevator at the same time, so essentially doubling the amount of cargo you can move in one sort of go. We will have to test that. There are also multiple ASOP terminals around the edge of the hangar, so you are not having to run from one end to another just to request your vehicles. You also have 2 hospital access elevators in case you need it, but there are only 2 item bank terminals that are found next to the main ASOP terminal as you immediately get off the elevator, rather than one being there and then another one spread around, which is kind of strange considering that everything else have multiples of them, but that is what it is. There is plenty of space around the outside for storing vehicles, cargo, and decorations. In fact, there is a certain area, or a couple of areas, labelled as storage specifically, but of course you can put whatever you want anywhere, provided the vehicle lift is free, otherwise you may lose things when you request a vehicle. I mean, you can stick stuff on the actual elevator itself, but if you use it, there is a chance that that stuff will be gone. Now, there's a lot of repeated sections throughout the hangar as well, which over time, when we are able to buy hangars and upgrade them, we should be able to add things like rooms, and obviously when we start buying more furniture and items and tools, being able to place them around the area as well, so it won't feel as repeated. They may even change some of the internals as well. Again, this is just the initial release. Now, it is so fun placing vehicles, items, and things around, just seeing them as you're walking around. I have not really gotten around the fact that this is my hangar and nobody else's, and leaving things around will just persist every time I come back and forth to it. Of course, over time this will become more apparent, but right now it still feels like I'm using a public hangar. So once I get things thoroughly decorated, placed how I want them, and see them persist time and time again, it's going to be kind of mind-blowing, I feel, and one of the best additions we've had in a long time to really create a place of our own. Now, item banks are nice, and they take very little getting used to. They still require a bit more polish, as things can be a bit unintuitive, but sifting through the options of what you might want is a really efficient way of finding what you need and equipping what you need. UI-wise, they look alright. They're not anything too fancy, but it does the job, and I personally like the fact that things are becoming more physicalized, and you don't have this magic bag of holding, so they obviously need to be working as good as possible, because it is how we will access any of our items. Now, the freight elevators I really enjoy. For this current build, you needed to lower the freight elevator first by hitting the down arrow on the left-hand screen just so that you can then access your local inventory items, so you can move things across from the storage to the freight elevator. It's very easy to do so. It is either click on move to elevator when you have an item that you've highlighted, or just drag and drop. Very quick, very efficient. There's a lot of room in there, and it brings things up kind of organized, laid out, but sometimes overlapping. For example, I had the Retaliator module come up with hanger flare, like chairs and tables, mixed inside it, which wasn't too difficult to move around. I could get the tables out. I couldn't move the Retaliator module, either because my multi-tool was too weak and I needed a dedicated one, or it's just not set up to do that yet. But things can get stuck, and then when you try to put things back in, it will tell you that there's a problem with specific items, and it'll label what items are having an issue, and then you just have to move them and put them in a bit more of an organized method. Now, all items are just placed on the elevator with plants, guns, plushies, anything just neatly laid out side by side. So I think buying cargo boxes as you progress and then placing these items in the cargo boxes before you call up the elevator is going to be a very handy and not imperative, but making life a lot easier. It's not a big deal, and it was pretty cool to see everything just sitting around there to be picked up, all those plushies and plants, holding them and then putting them on a table, decorating them how I wanted. It was very, very nice to be able to do that. But the trouble is, with the artificial restrictions around handling weapons in armistice zones, you can't pick up any weapon. So you will definitely need to put those into a box before calling them up so that you can then put them into your ship. Of course, one day these artificial restrictions will go, and you will be able to pick up and even use your weapons at your own risk, I suppose, depending on where you are. We definitely need a firing range, though, for the hangars ASAP, please, CIG. Now, as far as furniture goes, there are some really nice choice. I'm sure there's tons of other options to come down the line. A lot of the flair is really cool to see finally back into our hangars again. And decorating, as I say, placing things on tables is really, really fun. Although there was a bit of jittering going on, and I didn't really put out anything nicely, having all this storage around the outside, or all this space around the outside of the hangar, it is going to be great fun decorating and putting things where you want it. So coming back and just chilling out while you look at your ship, for example. Now, I have yet to try loading anything into the ship's cargo holds to see how it fits as it 30k'd, nor have I tried the hover trolleys or even left the hangar, so there is plenty more for me to try and report back on. I will also check my Evocati Q&A channel on Discord to see if I can answer any questions in an upcoming video, but my time is pretty limited, and it's heavily dependent on how well the build performs as to whether I can get to your questions or not, but I will certainly try. Anyway, let's get to the patch notes. Testing focus remains the same, with the two types of hangars being instanced and personal, freight elevators, storage access kiosks, which I suppose are no longer called item banks, hover trolleys, and hangar decorations. Cargo missions, that kind of stuff is still not the focus. Now, for gameplay features and updates, they have added a carry-lowered FPS weapon keybind, being Alt plus R by default, which is one of my favourite additions. I've been waiting for this for so long, so a big thank you there. They have updated the inventory container icons, increased overall spread values for vehicle cannons, and reduced vehicle laser damage by 10%. So, a lot of ongoing balance tuning for weapons, which is good to see. There has been 8 bug fixes, 8 client crashes fixed, and 4 server crashes fixed. So a lot going on behind the scenes right now to try and get these Evo builds into a good enough state to then push to further waves. As always, the time frame for how long it will be is unknown by anyone, even Cloud Imperium. It will go to the next wave when Cloud Imperium feel it's ready, and it will release to live when they feel it's ready as well. So there is no set duration for this, it just takes as long as it takes. But that is it for this video. I will be sure to cover any other patch notes that comes out, and if I can get in and play a bit more as well, I will certainly answer questions you might have and just provide my feedback so you know what to expect when you get access. Do make sure you enter the giveaway. We have a Gatak Sulen LTI game package to give away, and all you have to do to win this is firstly be a subscriber to my channel, and then comment on any video that I put out from last Sunday to this Sunday, being the 30th of June, letting me know what you are most excited about in Alpha 324. Also, there is only a few days left now to pick up the TOBII Tracker 5 at 15% off before it goes back to full price on July 3rd. and using the link in the description will take you to that deal, plus it will provide my channel with a direct kickback. So thank you so much if you have done so already, but rest assured there will be many more TOBII sales throughout the year, and I will be sure to let you all know when they happen. And with that said, I'm now going to go and work on the monthly report video and get that done and ready to release before the next one drops early July. Apologies for being very behind on this one, but if you do appreciate my videos, please do consider subscribing and helping the channel to grow. Also, come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother. I won't be live today because I'll be working on the monthly report, but I will be live again on Monday next week. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. Cannot do it without you guys, so thank you so much for the support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.